Hello hunters, welcome back to my channel, my name is Peppo, and today we give a look at what's new in Monster Hunter Wilds. A new collaboration with Street Fighter 6 has been released. You can now play as Akuma and throw punches and kicks at your foes, taking them down brutally like this. If you're a Street Fighter fan, you're definitely going to enjoy this. Akuma can perform a variety of attacks and combos that deal damage to monsters. Many players are already calling him the 15th weapon. Pretty cool, right? The SF6 collab includes 2 new arena quests. Completing them will reward you with the SF6 ticket, which you can use to craft Akuma's full armor set, his Palico set, and even upgrade your maximum might talisman. This one is important, so be sure to get it. You can also unlock new titles, backgrounds, and nameplates for your hunter profile. There's also new paid content available, such as SF6 gestures, stickers, and new outfits for Alma. This update also adds 5 new 8-star tempered monsters. Along with Arkveld and Mizu, we can now fight tempered Raidao, Uduna, Nu Udra, Jindahad, and Gore Magala. These versions not only have more HP and deal more damage, they also feature new ways of chaining some of their attacks. They are quite challenging, especially Gore Magala. In addition, higher difficulty quests should now appear more frequently as your HR increases, including increased spawn rate of quests with multiple monsters, increased appearance rate of tempered monsters with higher strength ratings, and increased appearance rate of all tempered monsters except Uduna. I would have liked to see quests with more than just 2 monsters, but I guess we still have to wait for that. Each map can hold up to 9 monsters, yet we are still limited to quests with only 2 targets max. Kind of feels like a waste, doesn't it? Capcom also made several fixes and adjustments in this update, so let's go over the most important ones. The Helmbreaker bug when destroying a wound has finally been addressed and resolved. The issue was that if a wound was destroyed during the multi-hit sequence of Spirit Helmbreaker, the following hits wouldn't register. That's now been fixed. However, Helmbreaker's debatable hitbox hasn't changed. Hopefully that gets adjusted in the near future. Fixed an issue where a player's attack wouldn't hit a monster's weak point if a tear was present when the weak point was exposed. This fix is important, it was frustrating when the focus strike just didn't work. Fixed an issue where flying monsters could get stuck at pop-up camps locations. This was a strange exploit, especially if you were trying to cheese A-tier Raidao with HPG. That's no longer possible. Fixed an issue where controls could become unresponsive under certain conditions while riding the Sacred. I even tweeted about this, glad they fixed it. Now I'm just waiting for them to address the input delay on Longsword. That's important. Fixed an issue where, when retrying an arena challenge quest under certain conditions, the bowgun wouldn't load to full capacity. If you play bowguns in arena, you know how annoying this was, having to restart twice just to get full ammo. Fixed an issue where the game could fail to load when departing on an investigation at the same time as other players, depending on the departure animation. This happened way too often during my open lobby streams. Infinite loading screens before quest. Yeah, that was not enjoyable. Fixed an issue where the values of the antivirus skill were different in some language versions. This has now been corrected. It properly shows 10% affinity at level 3 now. The most impactful changes include Rocksteady Mantle now completely negates stun. It's a minor buff, not game changing, but at least you can't get stunned while using it anymore. The resting function now repairs all destroyed pop-up camps and resets mantle cooldowns. Keep in mind that resting costs 500 kill points, so I don't think many of us will use it just to reset mantles. Monster resistance to paralysis now build up more resistance each time they are afflicted. In other words, the paralysis threshold increases over time, making it harder to trigger repeatedly. That's why I've started using more elemental and status-based longswords. A new option has been added that lets you toggle slinger aiming on and off when your weapon is sheathed. You can find it on the second page of the control options. The visibility of melee effect duration has been improved. The countdown now appears 10 minutes before expiration, and all the icons above the HP bar are now larger and easier to see. Icons for bases and fast travel locations on the map have been updated. They now have a white outline to stand out more clearly against the background. The Palico's behavior has been adjusted. The frequency of Vigor Wasp delivery after receiving boost has been reduced. Your Palico will now heal you less frequently. The frequency of pure wasp delivery has also been reduced, so don't expect to be cured every time you are affected by a status ailment. However, the speed of both Vigor Wasp and Pure Wasp delivery has been increased, so when your Palico does heal you or cure you, it happens faster. For Steam users, VRAM usage has been optimized, which is obviously a good thing. You may notice some improvement, especially if you're using the high-resolution texture pack. But honestly, the main issue for performance is something else entirely. The CPU usage in Wilds is absolutely high. In some cases, the game uses more CPU than GPU, which doesn't make any sense to me. And that's it for the news regarding this new update to Monster Hunter Wilds. If you like this kind of content, feel free to let me know in the comments. And with that said, I wish you a good day, stay safe, and happy hunting!